I'll tell you what I'm skeptical of today. The notion that James Gunn has any idea what the hell he's doing. Look at this picture. That's supposed to be the Guy Gardner version of Green Lantern, and this is Hawkgirl. Now, this guy, Mr. Terrific, this looks pretty spot on for his look in the comics, but you're gonna take these other iconic Justice League characters and put them in motorcycle leathers? Like, that's your take on a superhero costume? The quality is reminiscent of Smallville. You remember the Justice League from Smallville? How basically everyone wore a plastic vest with some sort of coloration that was reminiscent of their comic book costumes? That's what this looks like to me. What is this like cheap garbage network TV version of a superhero suit doing in a big budget Warner Brothers Superman movie? And we're probably seeing like a nascent form of the Justice League, and then later they all get upgraded and they all get their super cool iconic costumes. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. But the problem with that is that, at least in the case of Hawkgirl and Green Lantern, these are already like mystical characters that are touched by the cosmic, and they're not part of some little grassroots club. Whatever grandeur their characters could grow into that would coincide with a progressively cooler costume, that grandeur has already been attained. They are already these super powered mystical entities. So why are they wearing motorcycle jackets? This is insane. And I can't just sit back and trust in James Gunn's vision, because I don't trust it enough. He has gotten a thing or two right over the years, but this is also the same guy that brought us Slither and the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which I don't care what anyone says. That movie was terrible. It was a bad movie. Terrible characterizations, totally unfollowable story. Some of the performances were funny, but that's like it. Now I'll give him this. For the most part, I like the Superman costume that he came up with, and we'll see how David Corenswet does, but I kind of was disappointed in his casting because when he got cast, it was immediately obvious to me that they weren't trying to cast someone who looks like and can act like Superman. They were running a Henry Cavill lookalike contest, and that was how they cast Superman. And that's not how you should go about it. It's the same thing they did casting Brandon Routh in 2007 because he looked passingly like Christopher Reeve. You don't want to cast someone that looks like another actor that has played that part. You want to cast someone who looks like that character and can play that character. So far, I see no evidence that James Gunn knows what he's doing, and I'm worried for the state of this new Superman movie because Superman is my guy. He is my favorite superhero. He's one of my favorite characters in anything ever, and he has been mercilessly thrown around and beaten for decades now, and I just want to see someone do him justice. After the fun I had with the Suicide Squad, I started to think that maybe James Gunn would be the guy to give me that, but I don't know. What I'm seeing right now is not encouraging. He's also the same guy that let Blue Beetle go to theaters, and that movie was garbage. Whether or not he accidentally pulls this movie off, I do think it was a huge mistake for WB to go to him with this like save us mentality. They keep making these big bets on people who don't have a track record that I trust. When they did it with Zack Snyder back in the day, in that moment I knew how terrible the DCEU was going to be, and my fears came to fruition. When they did the same thing with James Gunn, I was fence-sitting. I really didn't know how to feel about it. And so far, I have not seen much to give me the impression that it was a good move. I think that kind of risk-taking behavior that WB binges on is really, really foolish. Really foolish. And they might have made a bad bet again. We'll see. But so far, what James Gunn has done for us is he has allowed Blue Beetle to go to theaters, and I think it's included as part of the new canon. He cast a Henry Cavill lookalike as Superman. He cast Nathan Fillion as the Guy Gardner Green Lantern. And I get it that you're trying to pay fan service to the bajillion fan casts of Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan, but really it's a backhand to the face of that. And he made his Guy Gardner not look anything like Guy Gardner, and then he turned his Green Lantern outfit into a motorcycle suit. And he did the same thing with Hawkgirl. I have no idea what's going on, but I am very distrusting of what James Gunn is doing with this Superman movie so far.